When people hear the word infidelity, they usually think of a romantic or sexual relationship with someone else. However, in psychology, betraying someone's trust is a much broader concept than emotional or physical cheating. A woman can betray a man's trust without ever becoming involved with another man, just as a man can betray his partner's trust in many different ways. Trust is the foundation of every healthy relationship. Once that foundation begins to erode, love alone is often no longer enough to keep the relationship strong. For this reason, psychologists do not view betrayal of trust as a single event. Instead, they see it as a pattern of repeated behaviors that gradually make one partner feel they can no longer rely on the other or feel emotionally safe with them. In this article, we'll explore 7 behaviors that may indicate a woman has begun to betray a man's trust. It's important to remember that one behavior alone is never enough to judge a relationship. What matters is whether these patterns become frequent, consistent, and long-lasting. 1. Repeated lying, even about small things. Everyone tells a lie occasionally, whether out of embarrassment or to avoid conflict. But when lying becomes a habit, trust begins to break down. Perhaps you discover she lied about where she was, changed details of a story, or gives you a different version of the same event each time you ask. Psychological research suggests that the real problem with dishonesty isn't always the lie itself, it's what it makes the other person wonder. If she's willing to lie about small things, what about the important ones? That's why honesty is considered one of the strongest foundations of a stable relationship. 2. Hiding things she knows would hurt you. There is a significant difference between healthy privacy and intentional secrecy. Everyone deserves personal space, but when a woman deliberately hides important information because she knows it would damage her partner's trust, the relationship begins to enter dangerous territory. When a man repeatedly learns the truth from other people or by accident, instead of hearing it directly from his partner, his sense of emotional security gradually begins to disappear. 3. Dismissing or invalidating your feelings. You express that something she did hurt you, and she responds with statements like, "You're overreacting. You're too sensitive. You're imagining things." Over time, you begin to feel that your emotions simply don't matter. Psychologists explain that repeatedly dismissing a partner's feelings weakens trust because everyone needs to feel emotionally understood, even when their partner disagrees with them. Feeling heard is one of the most important ingredients of emotional safety. 4. Constantly breaking promises. A promise is more than just words, it's a commitment. When she repeatedly promises something and then fails to follow through without concern, accountability, or even an apology, she isn't just breaking promises, she's breaking your confidence in her reliability. Relationship research consistently shows that trust is built when words and actions match, not through promises alone. 5. Sharing your private secrets with others. Few things damage trust more than discovering that your private conversations or relationship issues have become topics of discussion with friends or relatives. When a man opens up emotionally to his partner, he expects her to be a safe place, not someone who turns his vulnerabilities into conversations with other people. For this reason, relationship experts consider protecting each other's privacy one of the clearest signs of mutual respect. 6. Blaming you for her mistakes. One common sign of an unhealthy relationship is refusing to take responsibility for one's own behavior. Instead of acknowledging her mistake, she shifts the entire conversation toward your flaws until, somehow, you end up apologizing, even though you were the one who was hurt. Psychologists describe this as deflecting responsibility, a pattern that makes healthy conflict resolution increasingly difficult over time. Without accountability, trust slowly begins to disappear. 7. Making doubt a constant part of your life. Perhaps this is the most damaging sign of all. A healthy relationship creates a sense of emotional security, even during disagreements. But when you constantly find yourself questioning every explanation, every plan, every message, or every story because her words no longer match reality, trust begins to collapse. This doesn't mean every suspicion is justified. However, when inconsistencies become a recurring pattern, they create an atmosphere of anxiety and uncertainty in which no relationship can truly thrive. Why do some women betray their partner's trust? Psychological research suggests that betrayal of trust can develop for many reasons. Poor communication skills, fear of confrontation, avoiding conflict, selfishness, emotional immaturity, or deeper unresolved relationship problems may all contribute. However, understanding these reasons does not excuse the behavior. Healthy relationships depend on honesty, accountability, transparency, and mutual respect. Final thoughts. Betraying trust doesn't always begin with a secret affair. Sometimes it starts with a small lie, a broken promise, a shared secret, or repeatedly dismissing a partner's feelings. Individually, these actions may seem minor, but over time, they accumulate until rebuilding trust becomes far more difficult than protecting it in the first place. For that reason, don't judge your relationship based on a single incident. But if these behaviors become recurring patterns, it's important to address them through honest communication before they grow into emotional walls that separate you. In the end, love may be what brings two people together, but trust is what keeps them together. Once trust is broken, repairing a relationship often becomes much harder than preserving it from the beginning. Now, I'd love to hear your opinion in the comments. What behavior do you think destroys a man's trust in his partner more than anything else? And do you believe trust can truly be rebuilt once it's broken, or are some wounds impossible to fully heal?